What is up, guys, gals, and all you awesome minions and gamers of different shapes and sizes? It is me, Josh, aka Proxy, bringing you some RIGS Mechanized Combat League today on the PlayStation 4 via the PSVR headset, and it's going to be pretty freaking awesome. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy this video, and why not subscribe for more RIGS content in the future, because as you know, I love this game. I really apologize for not posting as much content as I usually do. That's because obviously there are so many games, and also, as well, I've been a little bit ill, which really sucks because I haven't been able to play many games, which is really sad and really emotional, because as you know, video games are my life. I love video games so much. They cheer me up, they make me happy, they take me to a world I never thought I could experience, especially in PlayStation VR games. But would love to know your opinion in the comment section below, what you think to RIGS. Do you actually enjoy it? Have you played it? Have many of these videos actually kind of like changed your mind into what you thought of VR and actually you think it's pretty cool now? We'd love to know all of that opinion. We are playing Team Takedown again today on a 1v1 match made. This is a mode that I like to play at the moment because obviously the networking in RIGS kind of sucks at the moment, but it's still really, really awesome. This basically allows you just to have one room with you versus another opponent with their career AI. So it's kind of like Pokemon. I always say this. It's basically 1v1 match made is Pokemon. It's like the trainer has to have like a battle with the other trainer, like actual like fisticuffs and murder them, but at the same time as that, you also have the Pokemon, which are your kind of like hired AI staff, kind of like helping you along the way, which are obviously your Pokemon. And I just think it's kind of cool. I think it's a little bit more fun as well because you have that kind of like focus player skill in a sense, because it means that if you are kind of teamed up with AI in the division mode, which is all about the players fighting against each other, obviously if there are enough players in the room, then it'll kind of like replace it with AI, which is obviously kind of glitched in the network at the moment. But it means that if you're playing the 1v1 match made, you always get like a very trustworthy team because the AI generally really rocks when you actually hire them. But it's really cool that we're using a brand new rig as well. So we are actually using a Nuke rig today. This is completely different to what I generally use. Now, the Nuke rigs actually have the really cool ability of a martyrdom ability. Now, you may have heard of this from, say, Call of Duty, where basically when you die, you usually had this special ability where you would drop a grenade afterwards and potentially kill your assailant or a bunch of people around you. Now, with that Nuke ability, it's not instantaneous, which basically means that when you die, you don't just take everybody out with you around you when you die. You actually drop like a little bit of a glowing orb orange lava bomb of Jaffa cakiness. You may have noticed this already when we've been showing you this gameplay, but it actually allows you to die, then lose like a self-destruct bomb, and within like 2 seconds, it has the potential to actually kill the enemy that was obviously trying to kill you, or kill everybody around you that's on the enemy team. And that means that you have some really useful utility when it comes to tactics, when it comes to even just Team Takedown itself, because as you know, the whole point of Team Takedown is to just kill the enemy team. So if you have all 3 enemies around you and they kill you, and then they're all stuck in a corridor with your nuke that you've left after dying and going to rig heaven, then it means that you have the potential to get 3 kills instead of just 1 or none. Very useful, quite situational though, obviously, because you have to be actually near the enemy and they also have to try and not get out of there as fast as possible. So it's generally quite useful if you have a teammate kind of giving you suppressive fire while you're getting killed, you know, so that means that it confuses the enemy even more, because there is a little bit of like kind of like panic phase when it comes to the nuke, because a lot of people go, oh crap, and see, like, you've seen it myself when like I go into like the career mode or when playing multiplayer and someone is playing as a nuke rig and they drop the bomb and I have to try and freak out and like drive out of there as fast as possible. You always have that with the enemy team. They always try and disperse as fast as possible, and so the nuke ability, I would probably say, is actually quite underappreciated in a sense. Now, we have actually hit halftime here. It is 17-12 to us, doing really, really well. Main reason too is that we're actually got dual warheads on this rig. Now, this is the Tempest rig for the nukes, and it's actually called Blast Radius. Now, initially I was kind of like, oh, this isn't going to be very good because it's a free-firing Tempest, and obviously when you're using a Tempest you can fly around, but the idea of actually having free-firing missiles as well, it's kind of useful because, first of all, the warhead is very, very powerful, and also as well, you actually have that free fire. Now, I've actually had a bit of an issue in the past when it comes to the lock-on, where generally it would lock onto the wrong rig, or if you have 2 rigs that are enemies, obviously, together, you'll sometimes have the headset kind of like track onto the other enemy when you're focus firing on the other one, which means that you might have like a little bit of health on the other enemy and it'll change the other one which has full health, and it'll screw you over and you'll die. And so having the ability to actually have free fire rockets means that you can actually sit at a range or very high up as the Tempest Blast Radius and actually kind of like airstrike people without having to lock on. It means you can fire all over the place, quite useful, quite awesome, and it's also again very high damage. It's so freaking high damage, as you can see there. Look, and also just drop that nuke there. Seems like that enemy player is actually going to escape before we actually blow them up with me. So again, it's quite situational. But you do actually have those two dual-wielding warheads to kind of back you up. As you saw there, just firing both at the same time pretty much took 3/4 of health off, which is very powerful, very, very freaking useful. We're actually leading 20-14 at the moment by using those free fire rockets. Of course, I've got my AI team helping me as well. And again, just by able to fly around and just cover the entire map, it means I can kind of do suppressive fire with those rockets. Now, it does actually have a bit of a counter when it comes to enemies that jump. So, say if you're fighting against Mirage, you're probably not going to do much luck when it comes to using blast radius, because obviously the Mirages do actually have the ability to double jump, which means they can pretty much just double jump over all of your rockets. Not really seen that yet, but it's a kind of an assumption, really, I guess you could say. But even as you saw there, like getting blasted backwards by an enemy that actually has impulse cannons, because they have to kind of like free fire as well, but they have that limited range, the warheads have a really massive hitbox when it comes to attacking, because once those fire, the warheads are so big that even if they kind of like just chip you just a little bit, you're going to have all of that added damage put into there from the one shot. So it's really good for corridor combat, as I mentioned before, especially with that nuke ability. So say you take down one enemy and oh my goodness, like, oh, you can see here, we're actually going to take someone down with me on that nuke. Oh my goodness, that was awesome. It was a little bit off screen, but still, the nuke ability, really awesome, where if you die, you actually take someone with you, or the entire team if they're all clumped together. Now, as mentioned, say if you are actually in a corridor and you take down one person, that is still one kill, and then you get killed, but the enemy team are with you, it's still an extra kill, or an extra 2 kills, which means that you're actually doubling, tripling the amount of kills that you assumed you were going to get in the first place if you didn't even get one, if you just thought, oh, I'm actually just going to lollygag around here and try and distract people, which is obviously a tactic in this game. Now, we are actually hitting, I believe that was originally 32 points, we're actually 34 points now in the leader, which is really, really awesome, because obviously, as you can see, the nuke rig is just quite useful when it comes to getting those additional points to get us into the lead. Again, look, 2 enemies right next to each other on that nuke, and explosion double kill. That is, again, what we want to see when it comes to using your abilities in this game. Oh my goodness, full time, we completely whooped there using this brand new rig, 36-25 Cobra's Pitbulls. As you can see, I was pretty happy about this, shaking my head, nodding it like a boss. But I'd love to know your opinion in the comment section below. What did you think, sis? Have you ever used blast radius before? We've got a really good kill score there as well of 17 ejects on the enemy, and only, is that 6 for me? Not bad, not pretty freaking bad. But remember that even when you eject, it doesn't really matter if you're playing as a nuke, because you have that ability to potentially take down an enemy player at the same time. So really, ejects are a good thing. It's kind of weird to think about, right? But anyway, it's been me, Josh, aka Proxy, bringing you some RIGS Mechanized Combat League today on the PlayStation 4. Oh, look at that emote! That is amazing. Remember, you do actually get podium animations when you win the matches as MVP. Doing a little bit of a cowboy thing here. That was pretty awesome. Let me know what yours is in the comment section below, though. Do you like this one? Have you actually got a better one? Because remember, there are even more that you can unlock. But remember to drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and why not subscribe for more RIGS videos in the future, along with other PSVR content. Again, I apologize, I've not actually uploaded more of this, but I've just been ill. And when you're ill, you don't really want to be playing a virtual reality headset on your noggin. But I will be doing more in the future, so catch up with that later. Ciao for now.